Hey everybody, and welcome to KHOU 11 Plus. I'm meteorologist Pat Cavlin with a deeper dive on this long stretch of hot weather that we are about to jump into here in southeast Texas. Today was day one. We had temperatures widespread across the area that made it into the 90s. This is only the tip of the iceberg, just the beginning to what's going to be, again, a long stretch of hot weather. In the books today, 94, the official high temperature at Bush. We woke up at 69 degrees, so the morning temperature not too far off from our normal. Typically this time of year we're at 67. I do suspect that this number will start to go up more and more over the next few days. And the reason for that is because the overnight temperature is pretty directly related to the amount of humidity in place. So the higher the dew point temperature, that is the humidity, the higher that overnight temperature is going to be. And the reason for that is because the air temperature can't drop below the dew point temperature. So if your dew point and humidity levels are very high, your overnight temperatures will be very high as well. By the way, that high of 94 today, that broke the record high temperature, or at least tied the record high temperature of 94, set back in 1907. That is a 118-year-old record. So this is a really long-standing record high temperature in the books at Intercontinental. We will likely break the record again over the next 4 or 5 days. So a long stretch of impressive heat here across southeast Texas. Hobby also tied their record high temperature. That was 92. That one not quite as old. Only goes back to 2011. College Station came close but stayed south of their record. Got up to 97 today. And Galveston, well below their record high temperature of 93 degrees, only making it to 85 today. We'll talk more about why that was the case in just a few minutes. All right, the focus for the heat, and this is the one silver line, and the focus for the heat as we go through the next few days will be across central Texas. This is where we have excessive heat warnings in effect in that pink color, and then heat advisories in the orange. Where you have the excessive heat warnings in place is where air temperatures could be 105 to 110 over the next few days. We do have that heat advisory extending into our area, so the core of the heat will be to our west, but some of our western counties are on the eastern edge of that. So Brenham and Washington County, you could see feels like temperatures get over 105 the next few days, which is why you've been included in that heat advisory. Everyone else will be pretty hot as well, but really the farther west you go is where you're going to find those hot temperatures. So we are in for a stretch, and a long stretch of record heat. At least for the next 5 days, we'll see temperatures that challenge or break record high temperatures. So we will be in the mid-90s. This is not August record-breaking high temperatures, where we're like 105, 107, 109. But still, this is really unusually hot for this time of year. And the reason for it, let's talk about why it's happening. Well, we had such nice weather the last few days. That's because of that cold pocket in the atmosphere. We talked about this yesterday. That is now starting to exit to the north and east. Taking its place is a large area of high pressure. We call this a ridge. The reason why we call it a ridge is just because it pushes the jet stream up into a ridge shape. And so as that ridge starts to move over us, that's when the temperatures will start to increase. And notice, once it moves in place, this thing doesn't move. I mean, we're talking about a stretch here of 7 to 10 days where high pressure sits over the area, builds, strengthens, and just doesn't move or show any signs of weakening. And so that means a long stretch of sunny and dry weather, which will be nice. Great pool days, great beach days, good boating days, but also really hot weather. And that heat, again, just not going anywhere all the way at least through May 23rd. We take you out the next 10 days. Temperatures expected to remain above normal. This is pretty much the same map that we've been showing you. There have been no changes made to this map, so there's really good confidence that temperatures don't break at least through the 23rd. That includes the entirety of the southeastern U.S. Cooler temperatures will be found up to the north. So 98 your high temperature forecast for tomorrow. 97 then as we get you into Thursday. Mid-90s for the end of the week into the start of next week. And yeah, we do start to trend a little bit cooler getting into the middle of next week, but it's still above normal. And it does look like we can at least tie some record high temperatures getting into the start of next week. All right, so bottom line, the heat is here. And it's here to stay. At least through next week, we're going to see temperatures 95 to 100 degrees. I do think that things will start to relax towards the beginning of next week, but all in all, we're still well above normal and we'll be getting close to record. So until your body can adjust this heat, and that'll take a few days, Make sure that you're limiting your time outdoors, especially with exercise. Don't be doing that in the middle of the day, and stay hydrated. And we talked about this again yesterday, but what does that mean? It means pre-hydrating. So don't start chugging water once you start to feel thirsty, because once you're at that point, you're already dehydrated. What that means is if you plan on being outside for any period of time, if you have to work outdoors, make sure that you're starting that water consumption the night before and the morning of to stay ahead of it with your body. Let's take a look at future track temperatures getting into your Wednesday. 98, the high temperature in the city. We'll do 101 for Conroe, 102 Spring, 100 for Brenham, but look down towards the coast. Bolivar Peninsula, 80 degrees. Galveston, 82. Brazosport, 88 degrees. So a really sharp line here, a cutoff of temperatures. I mean, also a huge gradient, a 20-degree difference between Galveston and Spring for Wednesday. Why is that? Well, because it's not August, it's still May. And so water temperatures are still only in the low 80s instead of being in the mid 90s. And that makes a big difference for the coastal spots. When you get water temperatures that are that cool, you get a sea breeze that develops. And sometimes that sea breeze can actually be pretty strong. Tomorrow, our sea breeze will be on the order of 15 to 25 miles per hour. And so a bit of a chop in the Gulf, small craft advisory in effect. Let's talk more about how that sea breeze develops though. This time of year, I mean, I would say it's unique to this time of year for us in Southeast Texas, because again, once you get to July and August, that water temperature is in the 90s. That's not the case right now. It's in the low 80s. So when the land temperature jumps into the 90s, that creates a big imbalance. And the atmosphere hates imbalances like that. And that's how wind starts to form. So whenever you get a temperature difference over 6 degrees between the water and the land, that can trigger a sea breeze or an onshore flow of those winds from the Gulf of Mexico. Well, when that happens, that takes the cooler air that's settled over those cooler water temperatures and it brings it on shore. And so it knocks numbers at the immediate coast down to the low and mid 80s. And so this will be the place to beat the heat as we get into the upcoming week. And to the point about the small craft advisory and the strong winds, the bigger that temperature difference is, the stronger that sea breeze response is. So you're going to get a pretty strong south wind here at the coast as we go through the end of the week. Winds will be about 20, 25 miles per hour pretty much every day. So boaters, just be aware of that bit of a chop for the Gulf here through the rest of the week. Overnight tonight, it's warm and it's muggy. 72 for Aldine, 73 downtown, 71 for Atascocita, 71 Tomball. Notice though, again, a little bit warmer out towards the bay. 75 for Baytown, Seabrook, 74 in LaPorte. Rest of the area, notice numbers are a little bit warmer than where we were this morning, and that's just a product of seeing more humidity. So we'll do 71 for Katy, Conroe, Livingston, 74 downtown, mid 70s down towards the coast. And again, water temperatures, while they keep us cool during the day, they keep us warm during the overnight. So Galveston only gets down to 79 tonight. Palacios only gets down to 78 tonight. And again, this is all tied in with more humidity as well. Tomorrow, impressive numbers. 99 for Aldine, 98 Acres Home. Same for Dyersdale, East Houston. We'll do 97 in Edo, 96 for Montrose and Brookhaven, 98 for Copperfield, 94 Alameda, 95 out towards Pasadena, a lot of sunshine. 97 up towards Atascocita, 96 for Ireland, same for Cypress. But again, once you get out towards Galveston Bay, only 90 in Seabrook, 94 for Baytown, 96 LaPorte, 80 your high temperature in Galveston. We'll probably be a few degrees warmer than that, but still in the low to mid 80s for Galveston, 88 for Angleton, 87 Bay City, 97 in Columbus. And I do think a couple of areas tomorrow will get to the century mark. Navasota, Brenham might, Conroe I think might as well, again with mainly sunny skies. So here's that 7-day forecast. Not a lot changes. Notice the text underneath each one of those high temperatures. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are the days that we will likely just break the record. And then as we get to the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I think we make a run at the record high temperature. We'll probably tie it for Saturday and Sunday. Monday will be close. I think we break it again getting into next Tuesday. So it's a long stretch here of sunny weather, of dry conditions, but of hot temperatures. And again, those overnight lows, remember what I talked about, the warmer the overnight temperature, the more humidity. Once you start seeing these overnight lows in the mid to upper 70s, especially getting into the weekend, that's a sign of more of that brutal humidity. So hang on, check on your neighbors, check on the elderly, the kids, limit your time outdoors, stay hydrated. As we get into this hot stretch, we'll have more on your forecast coming up tonight on the KHOU 11 News at 10.